and welcome back to another CBSI Hot 10 show here on Rennavision. Make sure afterwards you go over to the website, cbsi.com, and check out all the little extra content that maybe Pete is going to write up, or maybe he isn't. Pete's on vacation this week, so we decided to come together and do a collabo of our top 10. Hopefully it's good enough. It probably is. It's probably better than his list, to be honest with you. Make sure that you go, you like, you subscribe here. Go down below. There should be a code or cheat code. I think it's up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Maybe select start. It could get you money off of whatnot, or maybe help you win contract. But with that being said, let's get into the list. All right.
Very nicely done. Yay.
We got the dream team this week. Not Jordan Bird, more like the Michael Keaton movie, but the dream team's here.
It's the 45. All right. Let's just get into the list, guys.
Notable sales.
First one up, we got Mad number 1. This thing always sells exceptionally well, but an 8.5 hit $9,100, which is up from that last sold of $6,500. The 9.0 was kind of the 5-digit level, about the 10 grand level. It was getting really close to it. So it looks like 8.5 is going to creep up and maybe be that 10 grand level at some point soon. You have about 25 or so copies that are graded higher than this, but this book still always commands.
Always interesting too, because you think of Mad Magazine, but you don't think comic, and this is the traditional comic size, like of the air. So a little bit bigger than the current comic book size, but still in that like comic formation.
Yeah, like the first 14 or so issues were comic size, and they switched over to magazine.
Kind of like Tumble. Yep.
Like that, yeah.
Good book.
That's a great book.
Make sure you dig under tables just in case.
Notable sales.
All right, the second notable sale today is, here we go.
Walt Disney's Comic and Stories number 1. This book sold for $6,900. It's up from its last sale in November of 22, so almost 2 years ago, at $5,040 back then. And this is a 4.5, but those Disney collectors, they love their Golden Age Disney. And anytime you get a nice, 4.5 is a decent grade for this book. So, that's a decent price for this book.
Especially this old. The 4-color stuff, too, does very well. But it's good to see, too, like the 2-year sale on some of these rarer books, almost having that like $2,000 bump. This is reminiscent of, 6 years ago, where it was steady. Every 2 years, you get a couple $1,000 bump on books when they'd sell. You're starting to see that with the key books again in this golden and silver age, which is very nice to see, seeing that the market is kind of stabilizing. I know you keep hearing us say that, especially about some of these classic books, but it's just happening. You know what I mean? We've lost some of the dead weight and we're getting more educated buyers, it seems, and it's bringing it to a faster pace for selling some of these books. But going back to a more, shall we say, common time period where books were selling at a steady rate, but not like that explosion we saw in COVID.
Now this is a decent grade for this early Dell Disney stuff as well. You'll see a lot of 1s and stuff like that out there. This book sell still for 4 digits a lot of times. So
and good presentability, at least on the front cover too. It really is like that's incredible. How I know some people are gonna say they're spine ticks or whatever. Who cares? A little bit of tears, but nothing.
But that red's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, that red's great. The green stuff.
The corner scuffs, man. The corner scuffs.
Right. It looks like there's spine stress on this book. Yeah. Oh, better mark it down.
Thanks.
All right, let's get into the list.
Number 10.
All right, at number 10, we got
XMen number 2, the 1 in 100. J. Scott Campbell, incentive almost 20 sales, average of $120 and a high of $150. Who doesn't love Magic from X-Men?
Magic's great, and the Soul Storch too. I think are
you still saying Magic? Really?
That's what her name is.
I have to disagree with that.
Yeah,
I don't know. This isn't Jake Scott Campbell's best work. Not my favorite Magic cover, but people are buying it.
Are we going to
And
get away from the soul sword at some point, or is that just
No.
all we're doing from now on?
So
That's
we'll
all
do.
we're gonna.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to ask.
It's too damn cool. It's
It
too damn
is.
cool of a thing.
It is, but I think it's starting to get to a point where it's getting a little bit overused. I don't know, but whatever. I like the
Yeah.
yellow. I really do like the gold coloring on this book. It actually is a little bit different than what you typically see with Magic background and stuff. I think it.
And it's a nice game.
Yeah.
I think this is one of his better covers on this book because it's way better than the cover he had last week on. I can't think of her name now. Psylocke.
Yes,
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
way
Oh,
better
yeah,
than
yeah.
the Psylocke cover he did.
It's way better than the solid cover. I don't know, man. I like that gold background with the. I mean, it does like in real life too. It makes the soul. Just as I criticize the soul sword, it makes it actually look like it kind of glows, which is cool. But I think now that we've gotten this, like, let's move on a little bit, right? Like we've got. I'm not saying it's a perfect cover,
More.
but it's a pretty damn good cover. Like, let's just.
There is a trade dress of this, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
There is.
Okay, I'll buy the trade dress for this.
I don't know. I think this is one where you. Yeah. Well, I mean, to each your own.
Mm.
Whatever.
That's still decent for a 1/100. 20 sales.
Yeah.
1/100.
20
That's
sales is a
over
lot. Like,
ratio.
averaging 120 is with a high 150 is pretty cheap nowadays for that. You're right, Joe. Good point.
Just like about the Jim Lee one. There shouldn't be a lack of these floating around out there either.
Mm. All right, fair enough. Well, let's get on to
Number 9.
Blood Hunt number 5, the 1 in 25 Kyle New. This is the whole Blood Hunt event was all setting up Dr. Doom, and over a dozen sales this past week. This was on the list last week too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the average $60, still selling 2 weeks in a row. So this is it's holding its momentum.
I
Dropped
think
a little bit, but
I think with all the Doom news, and then you got Doom with the Doom Supreme. Sounds like a taco, right? Sorcerer Supreme Doom, like
Now I'm hungry.
yeah, right. Doesn't Taco Bell serve, like that's a great crossover for
Put a little fire
Doom
sauce
Wars.
on that. That's
Yeah, there you go.
Just
Taco
the
Bell.
sour
You're
cream and
welcome. Send me
tomato.
my check. People like it. People love Doom. And then for some reason, I'm not a huge fan of Doctor Strange, but people like Doctor Strange. So putting the Sorcerer Supreme, putting Doctor Doom together, there you go. Got a newish character. Are we going to see it? Won't we see it? Who knows? Who cares? Book's still selling a couple weeks out.
Yep.
I mean, even 2 years ago, you wouldn't see stuff like this, right? Where it's continuously still selling at a decent click a couple weeks later. Maybe it was because there's just so much stuff being mentioned back then as far as new people entering in here and not ever seeing books before, collecting nostalgia and stuff like that. It is good to see some of these books sticking around a little bit longer and seeing that it is not just the Wednesday Warrior 3-hour sale, right? That we're having consistency sales.
Now that Sanford Green Doom book is still selling.
oh yeah,
I don't
like
know.
the one shot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So is this like one of the things where like Doom, this Doom event or this Doom situation is going to change the Marvel universe?
Shut up.
It will never be the
Ever.
same again.
No,
It will never be the
shut up.
same.
No,
Events that will ripple through and change the Marvel
The
universe.
hierarchy of
forever.
the Marvel universe is about to change.
I will say too, I know Pete has said it before, and I kind of have parroted the thing. I think that, I mean, it's okay, cool, whatever you think about Doctor Doom and the Sorcerer Supreme, but I think that kind of screwed the event of Blood Hunt up. I think it was kind of just like, oh, okay, not as
Yeah, but did it screw it up? But this was the plan the whole time, so there really was that event. Really wasn't the thing. It was.
yeah. I mean, the event was just worth it. Yeah, I mean, you're just
Doom
wasting-
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. You could have just done that.
It
I
was
still
all
think
just
Taco
a-
Bell's missing an opportunity here. All right,
All right.
next up.
Number 8.
Jenny. You're starting to get the heat coming back up on Something is Killing the Children. There's that one little screenshot of the script. So this FOC is the Raw's climbing up back around 100. So we're getting the Something's Killing the Children books moving up as well. I mean, they always have great covers on all of these. I mean, they're on issue 40 right now. They're still putting out tons of variants and amazing covers, but they're
A
good.
confusing book, right? Didn't they redo this for a different book too? The same cover? Did they use it?
There's a lot of Frizzen covers throughout the
Yeah.
series. There's a lot of
Very
the ones with
similar
just the
looking.
mask with little variations, and so there's a lot of covers that do look similar. Sometimes
Here's
going
the other
through
thing too. Last week, I
process.
know this book wasn't selling, and neither was any of the other variants. It was just number 1 towards the end of the week that was selling. Now you're seeing this one take up. I wonder if any of the other ones, there was that red cover that they had. What was that, a Lee or something like
Well,
that?
there's
The Jay
also
Lee.
there's
Jay Lee's
also 8, or depending on how you count, local comic book shop day foil cover and things like that. You can push it down and say there's basically, I think, 8 or 9 prints of this as well. Outside
There's
of the
a ton of
variants.
prints. Yeah.
At least 8, and the David Mack one came out, and then there's one more coming out that's going to be just like the A cover as well. So they're redoing.
Yeah.
They were going to, but it's coming.
I don't know. It's an interesting situation, especially with how many different covers they had coming out and how many different.
But those print runs
variations.
on those very late printings of this book were pretty low.
When you got to number 9, right? Isn't it? How many did it go? Did it go 9?
Well, they went to what? I think they went to 7, and then that's what they did on the initial run. And then later they called, I think, the local comic book shop day the foil cover of the number 1. I think they called that the 8th, and then they did another one after that. They did 2 far later that were like the 8th and the 9th. But,
the one they gave away for free, and then they had the one in the David Mack 5-packs.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So there was like 8 or 9. Yeah.
Well, just know which one you're buying, guys, and sell whichever one you can. All right.
It'll be interesting to see how it ripples through, though.
No, I know. Yeah, that was interesting. Like last week, we all knew about it, and then A was going, and we are kind of like, oh wow, only A selling, and then this week we get the Frizzen, and then let's see what sells next week. Who knows? Maybe nothing. All right.
Number 7.
All right, Matt. What do we got at number 7?
At number 7, we have Amazing Spider-Man 94, the first appearance of Black Cat, popping off thanks to Marvel Scooper My Time to Shine Hello, leaking that Sydney Sweeney is apparently already cast as Black Cat in Spider-Man 4. Take that with a grain of salt, as you will. But got about 30 sales. Raw's find a very finds up to $180. CGC 9.6 going for $800 on this beauty.
Huh. Wow.
It's too much woman for Tom Holland.
Well, it's also too, like, I think like the 9.2 sales and the 9.0s, I mean, they were really all the 9s and Upstart double jumping what the like 9.6s were. The 9.6 got a new price, the 9.2. Everything in this last week is really, I mean, I watched this book a lot because I have a couple of copies of these books. So it was just surprising, especially in the last 3 days, the price jumps on a lot of these things. I didn't know who Sweeney was. For some reason, it must be something about cleavage, because all people have been sending me is cleavage pictures of Black Cat's cleavage.
Oscar winner
of her class of some lady. I assume, I don't even know. I assume it's somebody named Sweeney and her cleavage, because that's all I'm getting is cleavage pictures when I ask who is Sweeney, and it's just cleavage pictures.
You saw the great cinematic piece of movie amazingness called Madam Web.
I did, but I couldn't tell which young lady was which.
Yeah,
it was just a bunch
think
of
about
ladies.
it, you definitely can tell which one was her. Now that you know,
she's the one that looks like she's bored the entire time.
That was all of them, wasn't it?
Murderer.
I'll be honest with you. I try not to knock movies, but like that one, I just try to forget the whole thing. I just remember there was a bunch of women running around.
Well, you can always catch her in Euphoria, the TV show.
Did they even turn into
or White Lotus? She was
Spider
good in the
people
first
at all?
season of White Lotus.
In that
I think the
movie?
last 5 seconds.
I can't remember. Yeah, that was a bad
5
movie.
minutes, yeah.
Okay, so probably not
Very,
referencing one of the worst movies ever made. There was an ensemble cast to
So
describe who
she's
the
going to
woman
go
is.
from Carpenter to Black Cat.
Alicia, yeah.
Once again,
nice.
Matt did say take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that potentially with the events of No Way Home and everyone forgetting who Peter Parker is, that you would expect to get a new love interest, because you're not going to have a Spider-Man movie without a love interest in it. It just makes sense to go Felicia Hardy after they don't.
I don't know
bring
about
in-
you, but the Black Cat storyline with Spider-Man, I think, is far better than anything with him and MJ. There are
I'm an
lots of
MJ.
ups and
I'm an
downs in
MJ
that
simp,
story.
so I'll disagree. But I do love me some Black Cat.
All right, fair enough. All right, next up, we've got
Number 6.
Dub, back to you on number 6. What do we got here, bud?
Number 6, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8. This is, I mean, one of the 3 books, but the best cover that has the black costume. This is 100 sales, up 20% from last week. Raws are selling at $225, and a CGC 98 Mark Jewelers sold for $7,000.
Look at the Mark Jewelers.
I mean, this book has always been. It's never come down. Like, I don't think, like, it's up there and it stays up to a certain level, and it's now that's all these rumors of black costume making its way also to Spider-Man 4. So, I mean, this book has always been a great book, so it's just going to keep going.
Is black costume making it, or is it just every time ASM slappies hear that there's another movie, they ask for the black costume?
Well, we
Yes.
kind of got that end credit scene with
Yes,
the
yes.
symbiote
Yes.
being left in Tom Holland's universe, but also Venom's ending. So there's a lot of speculation that that suit is going to attach to Peter at the end of Venom that leads us into Spider-Man 4. Because, I mean, Last Dance, they're not going to continue on without the Venom symbiote in one way or another. So
I don't think Sony is that smart to
No, it's gonna 100%. It's gonna be
Holland to get the symbiote. I don't think Sony's that smart.
no.
Sony's
It's gonna be
not, but
Space
Marvel
Venom.
is.
It's gonna be Space Venom. So if you guys don't have your Space Venom books up, make sure you get your Space Venom books. That's what it's gonna be. 100% Space Venom.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if they went like Flash Thompson Venom.
Yeah,
and you
Flash
got to see
Thompson.
it more the like Soldier Venom than
Yeah, I think that's not bad. I mean, I make jokes about Space Venom, but I actually like the Flash Thompson Venom and some of the other stuff they did. They ended up making Space Venom be a little bit too ridiculous. All right, well,
this
but
current iteration of Flash Thompson in the movies, I don't like the actor that plays Flash Thompson at all.
The latest one, yeah.
Yeah.
but
is
knowing
it that
Marvel-
kid that's in the? Is that the kid that's in the little jerk kid
Yeah, he's a jerk.
that's in the like convertible or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also like that kid's kind of like Flash. When you think Flash Thompson, you think like a
big bully.
Big
Yeah,
jock,
good.
big
Thank you for saying
kinda-
that. Yeah, beefy dude, but don't want anybody clipping it.
Knowing Sony, though, we're going to get the Matt Grogan version of Venom Scorpion, and nobody's going to understand why Scorpion is Venom or anything
Yeah.
like that.
I mean,
Well,
we have Secret Wars
so-
coming as a movie, so there's a chance that they could do something right. So
This
we'll-
book
Well,
is
they're
just
not
like
even-
the book that just. This is the book of just it'll go down like 2% and jump back up 10%. So like, wait for the dips and sell on the things and then rebuy it. This book comes around all the time. It's good to see. Damn, that Mark Jewelers though. Holy
yeah,
crap.
$7,000. Wow.
All right, next up.
Number 5.
All right, number 5. This is Cross is supposed to be option. I will tell you, there's no way in hell. If you've ever watched the Tack Show before, we've talked about this before. I have a friend that I hunt a lot of times comics with. Somebody gets penetrated with a hand in a cavity that is not in your front end while getting penetrated in the other end. There's no way they can send this. For people that don't know what Cross is about, it's a zombie-like disease that causes lesions that either form a plus sign or a cross on people's face, and then they do the most diabolical, evil crap out there.
I believe
And
heinous is one of the words used.
yeah, heinous. Yeah, I mean it is. It's like there.
It makes
once
the
again-
boys seem G-rated.
Yeah, yeah.
If,
I mean it is 100% like each book has got shock value versus shock value, but I just don't understand how they can. I don't know anybody that would put it on any of their services. To be honest with you, Joe, I mean you
Well,
can't. Huh?
I think it's going to be a theatrical release. It's not going to be on a streaming service.
What movie theater are they going to put? No movie theater is going to have this in there.
Well, I mean, they're probably going to tone it down, but with the success of Deadpool Wolverine and the hard R or the rated R
Bro,
superhero movie,
Bro.
everyone
Bro.
feels like everyone's
Bro.
running to option
Bro.
this.
yeah, Wolverine Deadpool is a
No,
bunch
it's
of
nothing compared to Cross.
Yeah.
curse words, and it's not this.
But I'm just saying the success that the R-rated comic book movie had, that in today's climate, like it's interesting to see like how much of this stuff is going to start getting optioned now.
But part of the
Yeah.
problem with it, okay, I understand the optioning, but this is one that I think is dead on the vine because of this. You could say all that, but part of the selling point of Cross is the shock value in it. The storyline really is not that good.
And that's saying a lot for it because it's Garth Ennis.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's pretty good at being somewhat shocking. But this
makes
is
Preacher
like-
this makes Preacher look like a virgin. It
Yeah.
really does. Like this book, if you've never seen it, if you've never read any, I mean, if you're soft and can scar easily, don't like go in a bubble because this thing's bad. They're not going to put this in a movie theater. I'd put money on it, dude. There's no way.
I think they will, but I think it's going to be super, super toned down.
But then then it's not the same. I mean, I don't know. Then it's just a name, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's just. It's
I mean,
gonna
the
be
basis
based off the hit comic book series Crossed by Garth Ennis. It's not going to be like direct adaptation where.
I'm not even saying it. Like the only thing that will be based is have the same name, because the whole rest of the book is like literally people ripping intestines out, fornicating.
Well, then it's gonna end up being
parts.
like one of those things that's just like the hardcores are gonna be upset because it's not faithful to the book, and then the new people that come to see it are gonna be like, this is just like everything else.
Yes, that's probably yeah. I'm not sure you can wash Cross.
Yeah, I don't know how you water this down and make it the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's not gonna be close. Well, whatever. I like it. I'm gonna watch it either way if they put it out there. I'm gonna
The
hate
fact
myself
that
for
we're
doing it.
talking about Crossed in a list is amazing in and of itself.
I think I've for years referenced that this is a book that will never get optioned. I was wrong, so I can be wrong again. All right, next up.
Number 4.
Number 4, Dub. What do we got?
Something is Killing the Children, number 1. We've already talked about one version of this book, but this is the A cover. This is the one that everybody goes after when they go after this book. This is the cover. You know, this was every time this book sold, everybody wanted the A cover. There's lots of prisons out there. There's a J. Lee cover out there. But this one's up to 515 raw. CGCs are back up to the $825 range. I mean, pandemic time, this book was like what, 1,500?
1,500.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It's steadily in the 13s for a long time. You know what's interesting about this is up from last week. I thought we would have seen everybody jump off the ship and flood the market and people get away from, you know what I mean? Like you would figure that people were going to try to get out of it and that we'd see a flooding of the market and the price of Swink would tank on this book. Not continuously, it wasn't huge rises, but it was enough. You know what I mean? There was even more sales on it. There was more, price went up even higher. Like to see that actually happen with this book in week 2 is are you guys surprised at that? I'm kind of surprised at it, to be honest with you.
I mean, Tinian, because it's Tinian, and Tinian has a name about him. He has a lot of properties. He has a lot of stories that people really, really like. I think people are hungry to see this actually made.
Yeah.
So
I know that, but I'm
carries
just
a little
saying,
more. I think it just carries a little more cachet behind it as,
Well,
as an option.
I think
I think
people
this
are
is one
waiting.
of I was gonna say, I think this is one of those books that, the initial people who have got to get the like, okay, this is hot now. I got to get this. They're gonna hit it, then it's gonna cool, and then when we get more news, then it'll pick up. It'll come back again.
But what I'm surprised is it's gone into the second week without cooling. That it's still going up. Like it's still, as of today, it's still on the upward trend. Where I figured we would have got that little, okay, cool. People go, oh shoot, wasn't that a $1,300? Wasn't it a $1,500? Was it a $1,200 book? Oh my gosh, 9/8 are only at $700. And when they were buying them at $700 last week, go like, okay, cool. People try to get out of it so they could save money or whatever they're going to do. But then I wouldn't expect them to keep going up and up. I mean, at this point, next week we're going to be pushing close. If we get the same thing, we're going to be pushing close almost $1,000 for a 9/8.
Always remember the rule of indies, the A cover rules.
Yeah, that too. Fair enough. All right.
Well, I think that you have these people here that want to be the big time speculators and get into this game now of flipping. They're seeing, oh well, this book was hot during the pandemic. It's cool. Now I'm going to buy in at this price because it's only going to go up. So they're just buying in now, and then they'll,
as long as they
it'll
buy it
come
for
around
like
again.
under $1,300 or $1,200.
Right.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right, they're waiting for it to go over that $1,000 mark before the quote unquote
They
market
stop buying.
floods. Yeah.
This is not the book to put your kids through college, people.
Oh, definitely.
Mhm. Well,
Great story, though. Great story. I'd love to see it in live action.
Number 3.
All right, coming in at number 3, Joe. What do we got?
Fortnite, keeping things moving. Reminding people that Gwenpool is a fun character, not what Marvel's done with her recently. So you got the unbelievable Gwenpool #1, 50 plus sales. It's averaging about 20. I think there was a 9.8 that went for close to 100. But I mean, this was pretty much a cover price book last week. Maybe a little more, but not much.
What does Fortnite mean? I don't understand.
I don't play the game. So,
It's a video game that's
No.
Call
Oh,
of
sorry.
Duty
So this
for
character,
young
are you saying
children.
that this character just became
Yes,
actual
they-
portion?
2 skins of Gwenpool.
And this is one of the skins is the cover. The cover is one of the skins.
No,
Yes.
but Gwenpool.
I believe it is.
It's
Well,
got to be.
It's similar to her same outfit.
Yeah, sure.
Is this her first appearance?
No.
No, that's
No.
what I'm saying. That's why it has
That's-
to be.
Oh, so it's
Howard
just a
Duck.
costume she's wearing. Yeah.
So
okay.
it's got to be
Yeah.
the motorcycle machine gun thing. Probably, I don't know. Somebody go call Sticks. He plays Fortnite still.
Yeah,
That's what I was asking. Like, I mean,
But
I know
Gwenpool's-
Fortnite's a game.
Gwenpool's a fun character that a lot of people like and a lot of people
Yeah.
miss. And
Howard the Duck.
Fortnite moves. You remember the last bunch of
Oh,
Fortnite
Howard the
books
Duck.
and stuff
Howard
like
the
that. People like the stuff. Yes, Howard the Duck one.
And just remember, Styx is the oldest player in Fortnite.
Gosh, no doubt.
Well,
No doubt.
he is 325 years old, so that's a
As of yesterday, happy birthday, Styx.
Happy birthday, Stick.
Congratulations. Happy birthday again, Sticks.
no, people love the character. I'm happy to see the book go up because
Dix works at a school and he's got to keep up with the youth, so it's no wonder he plays Fortnite.
Hey, let's not dox what people do. Thank you very much. All right. Next up.
Number 2.
Number 2. What do we got, Bruce?
We got Wolverine Revenge Red Band Edition, #1, the 1 in 25 U variant, 30 plus sales, average of $50, a high of $70. These homage covers are selling well. These Red Band editions are selling well. Marvel's just gonna milk this dry until they can't with these Red
bugs the
Band
hell out of
editions.
me.
It's
Bugs
not
it.
even gory or excessive violence. Yeah,
I
splatter
love
blood here.
I love that they did it on the blood hunts. Now they're just gonna keep cranking out DC homages.
Well, I think they kind of figured out their lane though. They tried with red, white, and black, and it didn't actually work with the majority of the books. Now I will say that the Maul series worked pretty well, and I think the Wolverine series worked pretty well, but the rest haven't done well. These, on the other hand, I thought this was a mid book, but if you look down at Matt, as his head snaps, and I call it a mid book, he loved this thing. Like he was like a kid in just looking at a scrambled HBO late night show when he was talking about this book. I mean, he was
like
excited.
this book. I am excited for this book. I'm not one who gets turned off by setup, so I thought, it's Hickman. It's Capullo. The art in this book
The
is
art was
beautiful.
good. The art was
Art
really
perfectly
good.
I think
complements
I
the
like this
writing.
book better than you, Marco. I like this book.
Yeah, I mean, I like the book. I just thought there was a little section they could cut out. But yeah,
I just think
mean,
you're being an X-Men mark, and you're expecting something more than what you're getting.
It's
set up.
X-Men.
all
You
right.
got to temper your
It's all right.
expectations,
Yeah.
man.
Let it
Bring it
cook.
down a little.
Let Hickman cook.
well,
I love-
I'm also so hold on now. This is the other part. Also, a fan of Hickman, kind of, because when he can do long 10-year runs on a comic like he did with East vs. West, that's how long he needs. Like he needs a minimum of 10 years to write any comic arc. And since this isn't going to be a 10-year comic arc, we saw what happened when he kind of left X-Men in the wind. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get excited until I see. I mean, he might be off this book in 4 books, and then what are we gonna have?
Well, I mean, it's only a 6-issue miniseries, but I think just the
might be off
concept
in
of
4
it's
books.
cool that Asteroid M falling, Magneto dies, and as he dies, he releases like an EMP that
Spoiler
wipes out everything. It's not really a spoiler alert; it's just a setup for the book. But it's to me, it's a setup issue to set up the rest of the story. I like the turns. Like I didn't see a certain somebody being evil or being on the bad side in this book. It was.
It did
I thought
have
was-
that he was. I swear there's a what if that he was, and I had that vibe, which I don't have a problem with because I really liked that portion of it. Like if he didn't leave his native country, what would have happened? I don't have a problem with any of that. I really just, once again, I said it was a good book. I just fear Hickman in 6 is not. That's. I mean,
Like I said, I don't mind the book. I'm just a little disappointed they're watering down the
The homages.
appeal of the EC homage.
the art's really good in this book,
Yep.
bro. The art's really good in this book. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to see Red Bands are still doing well.
hashtag Hickman in 6.
Hickman in 6. Next up.
And our number 1.
At number 1, we have this Ultra Magnus Transformers 11, 1 per store. Beautiful, beautiful cover. I saw one of these in my LCS. I saw the price tag on it, and I was like, nope. 70 plus sales, averaging $80. High sales raw for 100. That's what they're going for in shops as well. My LCS had to set $100. And I was like, oh, it's beautiful. It's even better in person. But I was like, I'm not. That's a little rich for my blood.
RC is really making good covers lately. Like every cover it seems that RC is on in some way. It's pretty dope cover. I'm not saying it's because of RC,
but a beautiful Transformers cover. I really like the use of the colors and the homage, and this is definitely a badass cover. It'll look even more badass on a second print in about a month or so.
No.
Only if they do a
Oh,
version.
God.
A second
Maybe
print
they'll-
just recolored.
Maybe
No,
they'll finally make some of Heron's Ultra Mega books go up a little bit.
I hope
Nice.
so. Yeah, that was. A
They're
good
gonna
run.
they're
It's a
gonna
great
make
series.
a pink chromium Ultra Magnus like overlay on the reprint, and that's all they're gonna do.
New York City Comic Con is coming, so expect
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Somebody's putting foil on that son of a bitch.
Who knows? Maybe some fat, mad, wife-stealing artist will slap it on an acetate cover and sell it at C2E2 next year or something. Who knows?
Anything could happen.
all right. Well, that is it for the top 10 list. I hope you guys enjoyed. The Hot 10 is probably one of the best shows when Pete's not on it. So shout out to Pete. Make sure you stick around to watch cartoons and comics. The Boys Joe, is that what you got this week? It looks cool. This looks cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do some cartoon properties and look at some comics. So
Wait.
it'll be fun.
Are we going to do like Masters of the Universe too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
about,
that's the spotlight.
I'm sorry, I'm not SNS. I can't fit every photo under the
fuck
sun.
yeah,
Oh,
Jesus, awesome ass.
I'll
Oh.
teach you. I'll teach you.
I'm terrible at
We'll
thumbnails,
get
but
you there.
SNS makes
We'll
me
get you
look
there.
like I'm pretty good.
Our
This is where I
thumbnails are where
leave.
it's at.
Yeah. We'll
So
be,
make
we'll
sure
be
you guys-
covering as many as we can, and then pick a couple books from each property that are doing pretty well. So
All right,
also
and
gonna
hopefully
give you
Pete will
the-
be hopefully
Sorry, go
Pete
ahead.
will be back from his great vacation in Vermont in the summertime. Only guy I know who vacations in Vermont in the summertime because he gets a discount. We'll see you guys all next week. Make sure you check out the rest of the great shows that we have here, including up next, The Qualify.